A core theory, when it comes to the study of interpersonal communication, is called social penetration theory. This was developed by Altman and Taylor in the 1970s. Since then, it's been applied to a variety of interpersonal relationships, everything from the platonic, romantic, to familial relationships. So it has a pretty wide reach application for interpersonal communication, and that's why it's a core piece of what we study. Essentially, this model tells us how relationships develop through self-disclosure. So think of this model explaining to us that self-disclosure, which is revealing information about yourself, is what facilitates the growth of relationships. Let's take a look at the model. Each category or wedge that we see in the model represents what we call breadth. And that's the range of topics there are that you could share. That could be politics, religion, family, money, hopes, dreams, values, all aspects of your identity and your experiences, those can go into those wedges. So that's the range of topics. Depth has to do with the degree of intimacy that there is on each of those individual categories. As you move towards the center, that is an increased degree of intimacy. So the outer rings are superficial, more impersonal, versus at the core, those are the deepest, most personally held things you know about yourself or ways you think about yourself. We tend not to disclose all the way down at that core with very many folks, but we might in the impersonal or superficial ways disclose a little more. So there are a few things to consider about the range of topics and degree of intimacy. When it comes to breadth and depth and your use of self-disclosure, it's best to recognize that it's cyclical. While you might go through a lot of self-disclosure in the early stages of a relationship, after a while it might be nice not to talk about really deep topics, but instead just hang out and have superficial conversations. So it's important to recognize that we don't always have to continually be going deeper and deeper and deeper with our self-disclosure and with our relationships. Sometimes it's fine to just remain at the level that we're at. It also should be reciprocal. So if somebody goes really deep and you're not comfortable sharing as much information about yourself, then that's maybe a sign that the self-disclosure has gone a little too deep and it's time to cool off. Another thing to know about self-disclosure is that it's dialectical. So this model of social penetration theory tells us that we are managing the tension between our private and our public selves, what we keep to ourselves versus what we want the world to see. Some people also relate this to the open and closed dialectic, how open we want to be about things, i.e. how much we disclose at the level of depth, versus how closed we want to keep things. So that's social penetration theory, a model or a theory that helps explore the level of self-disclosure that we have with others and how relationships develop.